My name is Otache Friday Ada. I am a STEM educator. I teach mathematics, chemistry, and physics. Today we'll be looking at mathematics. We're looking at SURDS. Now, SURDS are irrational numbers that cannot be expressed as fractions. And example we have the square root of 2, the square root of 3, the square root of 7. And SURDS are numbers that you can't calculate their exact values. That means they have recurring decimal. So today we'll be looking at how to simplify SURDS. But before we can do that, we have to look at the basic rules of SURD. How does SURD work? Now, the first rule of SURD is that if you have all square roots x times y is the same thing as square root of x times the square root of y. Let's check this. If I have all square roots 4 times 9 is the same thing as what? Square root of what? 4 times the square root of what? 9. Square root of 4 is what? 2, and square root of 9 is what? 3, which is what? 6. Now let's do this one as a whole. 4 times 9 is what? 4 times 9 is what? 36. Because of 36 is what? 6. That means this first two is what? Correct. Now the second rule of SURD state that if you have all square roots a, or any alphabet, let's use a divided by b is the same thing as the square root of a divided by the square root of b. Let's check this. If we have something like this, if we have all square roots 36 divided by what? 4, right? If we do that very well, we'll have the square root of 36 divided by the square root of 4. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 4 is what? 2. 6 divided by 2, you have what? 3. Now let's check from this, please. If you have 36 divided by 4, that will give you what? 9. Square root of 9. And square root of 9 is equals to what? 3. That means this second rule is correct. Now the third rule of SURD state that if you have all square roots a plus b, that this is not equal to a square root of a plus a square root of b. What that means is that if you have, let's check this. If you have all square roots 10 plus 15, such that this is not equals to square root of 10 plus the square root of 15. So the right thing to do in this case is to add them that inside. So you do the right thing to do 5. When you look for the square root of 25, it will give you 5. Don't do this. This is wrong. And then the fourth rule also states that if you have all square roots a minus b, it is not equal to the square root of a minus the square root of b. So if you have something like this, all square roots 40 minus 4, so it is saying that this is not equal to square root of 40 minus the square root of 4. What you should do here is 40 minus 4 is equal to what? 36. What is square root of 36? 36. So if you understand this, we can proceed. We have been able to prove that all square root a times b is equals to the square root of a times the square root of b, and then also all square root a divided by b is equals to the square root of a divided by the square root of b. And we are supposed to establish that all square root a minus b is not equals to the square root of a minus the square root of b, and that also this all square root a plus b is not equals to a square root of a plus the square root of b. So let's solve some problems. Let's solve some examples. If you have something like this, I let's solve an example. Let's simplify these sorts. The first one is the square root of 50. If you have to simplify sorts, the first thing we're going to do is that we will look for the factors of that number there and try to reduce it into the lowest form, and then we look for the factors of the numbers that are perfect square. Now if you look at 50, what are the factors of 50? You have 1 times 50, 2 times 25, 10 times 5. From the factors, which number there is a perfect square? For 50 we have 25. You can do this to be equals to what? 25 times what? 2, because what? 25 is a perfect square. So 25 times 2 is the same thing as what? Remember our rule for solve. A times b is equals to what? So from this you can see this is equals to what? The square root of what? 25 times the square root of what? 2. The square root of 25 is what? 5 times root 2. This is equals to 5 root 2. We have simplified this to get this. Let's proceed. If you also ask to simplify this sort, the square root of 98, we try as much as possible to write the number in this sort. We'll try to look for the factors of this number here as a perfect square. If you look at 98, you have 1 times 98, you have 2 times 49, and 49 is a perfect square because the square root of 49 is 7. So I'm going to use 49 times 2. So for this, we'll use 2 times 49, which is equals to root 2 times root 49. Root 2 is not a perfect square. So this equals to root 2 times the square root of 49 is 7, which will give us 7 root 2. Also, I've been asked to simplify this sort. The square root of 125. The square root of 125 can be simplified to be 25 times 5. We'll have 25 times 5. 25 times 5 will give you 125. So we'll do the same thing. This is equals to the square root of 25 times the square root of 5. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 5 is not a perfect square, so we'll leave it in sort, which is equals to 5 root 5. Then also, if I have to look at, let's have another example as well. I've been asked to simplify this sort, the square root of 150. The square root of 150 can be simplified to be 25 times 6. That is all square roots 25 times 6. So from this, you can write this to be the square root of 25 times the square root of 6. Square root of 25, you have that to be 5, and the square root of 6, not a perfect square, so leave it in sort, which equals to 5 root 6.